Hello world of YouTube. Let's talk about weed! Recently, YouTube has been targeting channels. Are you fucking serious? This lady's speeding past me. You can't do that, dude. That's not... Alright, that person's gonna speed past me. Channels that are centering their content around marijuana. Whether it be consumption, safe observance of the drug, stuff like that. They're flat out closing out channels, cracking down on channels that are doing that, and I'm of two minds of this. I think that with fair warning, because at one hand, YouTube's a business, they can do whatever they want, but YouTube's also a platform, and that's the drawback. It's an entertainment platform that was founded upon people being the entertainment, and there's definitely an audience for that, especially on YouTube. And while I personally have no issues with that at all, because, well, I don't got any problems with weed. You know, I think people that talk about weed all the time are kind of obnoxious, but, like, I mean, I've dabbled in weed. You know, I've done a little dibble-dabble with a weedle-waddle. So, I mean, I have no issues with the substance itself, and I think it should be something that is decriminalized, but unless they're actively selling the product to younger audiences, there should be no issue with it. And even in that instance, it's really up to the parents to monitor what their kids watch, but if YouTube as a business is cracking down on that aspect of it, I understand, but they're tackling it on all fronts, and that's my issue with it. YouTube is targeting channels that have marijuana-centric content purely because of the subject matter, and I think that that's wrong. I think that that's censorship to a high degree, no pun intended. People should be able to talk about whatever the fuck they want, and YouTube should just do their best to crack down on the monetization aspect of it. Because ultimately, while a lot of people view YouTube as a source of money, they really shouldn't. They never should have in the first place. Those channels should then center their content. The speed limit is 35 people. Their monetization aspect of the content towards platforms like Patreon, because YouTube, while they're gearing their content to be a little more family friendly, they should crack down more on that aspect as opposed to just flat out banning channels that discuss this topic. And this is kind of a tangent on that I guess could be its own topic, but in the regards of YouTube, with their whole advertiser-centric ideals, what they should really do is crack down on monitoring, yes, but to eliminate a lot of those issues outside of big channels that have no strikes as far as really posing a threat to the YouTube ad space. They should focus a lot of their time into channels that don't have anybody. You know, like my channel has been on YouTube for 8 years. I've never made a dime from YouTube. I've never wanted to make a dime from YouTube. But I understand why I may not be advertiser friendly and why I may not be a good place for advertisers to put their ads on, because I'm not going to reach anybody, at least as far as the great scheme of things. I am, but it's not going to be like a Philip DeFranco or a Filthy Frank or any other fuss-sounding names, you know? But I think they should kind of have kind of two sides of things. Have those monitoring those on the higher end of the subscriber counts, like your Jake Pauls and your Logan Pauls and all that sort of stuff, but putting a lot of their manpowers into siphoning through smaller sub-channels, because those are the ones that are posting the kind of graphic content, because they're not known for that. So people aren't going to subscribe to channels like that post that kind of stuff. They should also really more focus on dislikes. They should focus on flagged videos, especially flagged videos with a heavy amount of on a lower sub count channel, even if it's labeled under a certain, because YouTube's uploader algorithm automatically tags what a video should be under to a degree. So they should really focus on tags that are like geared towards whatever propaganda would be, and focus a lot of their humans into those aspects of aspects of kind of demonetizing, and let other channels like kind of do their thing, you know, be able to keep records. And while they're in this kind of beginning phase of doing this, it should really be establishing what channels have good records, good standings, and leave them be. Let them have the gates. Let the gates be open for them, because I have a lot of friends that do make money on this platform, and it sucks to see them get hit with demonetization over, you know, nothing, just because they're not, you know, Ooh, what are you doing? I'm gonna drive through. Just because YouTube seems to want to fuck them over, you know. That's my steez on it. I'm pulling into my house now. I guess I kind of talked about two things today, but most of it circled around YouTube and monetization. I know I kind of sounded a little scatterbrained while talking about my idea, but I hope that it came across. You know, having some of your human people or your human workers, a small percentage of them looking at those high sub count channels, while a large margin of them focusing on the smaller sub channels, because those are the ones posting the extreme content, the people that make like vlogs from Syria, you know, shit like that. Tool the algorithm to that as well, because a lot of these smaller channels, like I'm talking like smaller in my friend scheme, not smaller my pay grade, smaller like ARTV, Crash Thompson, those guys, you know, they're still kind of smaller time compared to the big guys, but they're bigger than me, you know. There's a variety. But also, if a channel has consistently been withstanding in good standings, let the gates open for them. Keep them having their content. You know, don't consistently block their channels from money just because they're not big time. If they haven't given you a reason to do so, don't do it. But that's my piece. Also, the weed thing. Do you agree with this crackdown on weed channels? If not, or if you do, let me know. While editing this, that description of my idea is a fucking mess, but I kept it in there to kind of keep it, the rubric or the outline the same, but focus on what I meant. So, have bigger channels monitored by smaller people, because, you know, someone could pull a Jake Paul and film a suicide forest, but have more people focusing on the channels with smaller sub counts, because those are the ones that live in those countries that or that work for the terrorist organizations that film propaganda and put it up on YouTube that the advertisers were freaking out about. Have people monitoring those channels while also tooling the algorithm to target those that upload under certain categories, because YouTube's algorithm detects usually what categories videos are set under whenever you select upload. I don't select categories anymore, I change them. So a good way to combat that for now is monitoring those smaller channels while tooling the algorithm to attack those that are flagged within a category. Also, like I said, if channels are in good standing, keep them in good standing. Don't consistently keep them at the gates and check them through, because they usually don't do anything wrong. Back to the outro. Always up at the topics as well. I've been Viralrak, you guys like the days, lots of situations. I'll see you another day.